What is up, everybody? Jarrett from Empire of Assets here. Today I just wanted to do a quick little video flexing on a card that I just got in the mail. That would be this guy right here. I will not even wait to show it off. This is a Matt Ryan 2008 SP Rookie Authentic RPA Rookie Patch Auto. A very cool card numbered out of 499. This one is number 391 with a tri-colored patch, which I thought was really cool. Graded a BGS 9 with a 10 on the autograph, and the subgrades are a 9, a 9, 2 9s, and 2 9.5s. Definitely a really cool card that I picked up. I just recently started getting into the Rookie Patch Auto football world. Definitely something I really enjoy a lot and think is really neat. And I just kind of wanted to talk about my thoughts on why I picked this up. I'm not a huge Matt Ryan fan, to be honest. Not a big Falcons guy. But I do have some reasons why I picked this up. I just kind of want to share them with you to get you thinking about some things with the upcoming football season. So jumping right into it, why would I spend the money on a card like this of a veteran? Well, my thinking is, if you look at Matt Ryan's stats over the last 6 years, he's thrown for 4,000 yards every year. Pretty good touchdown numbers. He is a good quarterback. If you look up the pro football numbers, is it PPF or PFF? He is the number 8 ranked quarterback going into this season. He also just got a brand new offensively minded head coach, which I think is really going to help. They did lose Julio Jones, but he has Pittman as a wide receiver. They got a good running back, pretty solid offensive line. And with this new offensive head coach, I really think that Matt Ryan could go off this season. I'm sure he will have over 4,000 yards again, maybe even get up into that higher 4,000, 5,000 numbers. I just think he's really going to have a good season. I know a lot of people have said that with the markets changing, it's going to take a lot of good games in a row for a guy to go up a lot. But I still think we're going to be kind of in that market of 1 or 2 good games is really going to send cards up, especially on a guy like this. Most people aren't thinking about Matt Ryan right now. A lot of the focus is on, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Kyler, the newer guys like that, Deshaun Watson even. And I think people kind of lose respect for the veterans in the league that are still putting up really consistent numbers that just maybe aren't as flashy. And I think all it takes is one good game, maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns, 400 yards to really bring those back to the front of people's minds. Matt Ryan, his Hall of Fame status is probably kind of up in the air. He definitely probably needs a couple more playoff runs, maybe a Pro Bowl selection. I don't think he's been selected to too many Pro Bowls. He does have 1 MVP season, so that helps, but a good Super Bowl run would definitely help. I would say he's definitely not a lock like some guys in the league right now. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, those people are locks. He's kind of on the edge of being a lock, but if he has a couple more decent years, I think he will make it into the Hall of Fame. So that's kind of that. Also, going back to the team, if you look at their schedule this year, their conference is tough. That's going to be the biggest downside. You have the Buccaneers, which obviously great defense. You have the Saints, obviously another really good football team. And then the Panthers, I believe, are the other team in the South. So there again, another pretty good team. So that's 6 conference games, which are all going to be tough. But if you look at the rest of their schedule, it is pretty easy, I would say. Definitely one of the easier schedules. They play some pretty bad defenses historically. So I think it's definitely going to be lots of opportunity for Matt Ryan to go off in at least a couple of games. So yeah, that's kind of my thinking, particularly on Matt Ryan, but more just broadly on the veteran guys. The prices on the rookies are just so insane. I was looking at Herbert or even Josh Allen stuff, which Josh Allen is probably top 10 easily quarterbacks in the league. I think he will continue to make steps forward. The Bills were great last year. I think the Bills will continue to be good going forward. But even quarterbacks that are not in the top 10, some guys that are further down the list than that are rookies. they're just so overpriced for me. The odds of that guy working out are really slim. Whereas a guy like Matt Ryan, you know that he can handle the ball. He can throw for 4,000 yards over many seasons consecutively. So even if the Falcons aren't the greatest team in the league, even if they don't make the playoffs, Matt Ryan, you know, is still a tried and true good quarterback. And you don't have to take nearly the sort of risk that you do with a rookie quarterback. There is people out there that collect Matt Ryan. If they're big Falcons fans, they like Matt Ryan. He's been a fine quarterback for them. So long term, I think you have some better value there. When he retires, obviously the Cards will probably get a little bump. If he does get in the Hall of Fame, they'll get another little bump. So it just makes a lot more sense to pay less for a card of a guy you know that can do well. Also, I did talk in my last UFC video about how crazy the parallels are in the Panini brand lineups. When everything's a parallel, nothing's a parallel. So I've been really trying to stick to low numbered, not a lot of cards out there, because even if you get in some of the crazy blue wave numbered to 35, how many people are really collecting blue wave? Yeah, it's cool, and if it's of a really big player, there'll be people that will buy it. But I just don't think it's as collectible as the old cards. Like this one, for example, there is not very many rookie patch autos. I think SP is a pretty solid brand dating back to those years from 2000 up through this card in 2008 and a little later than that. It is a known brand. Their rookie authentics, or just the SP authentic line, is a pretty strong brand lineup. I think a lot of people have forgotten about it. And also there's only 499 of these cards, and then there's a gold version numbered out of 25. So there's just not that many out there. Especially with this one getting the BGS 9 grade. And then on top of that, the other versions of a Matt Ryan rookie patch auto, this is probably one of the top 3, I would say. There's just not that many other versions. Whereas if you come today, I was looking at Zion National Treasure cards, because I think Zion's going to be a great pickup in this basketball offseason. I think a lot of guys are going to be good pickups. Basketball's really come down a lot. But there's just so many. I was looking at National Treasures, like I said, and there is the 99 vertical, there's the 99 horizontal, there's cards that have autographs but no rookie patches, there's jumbo patches. It's just crazy how many there are, and I think it really waters it down versus there being just sort of one iconic card and then maybe a couple limited number parallels of it. So you definitely think you have to be careful, especially in this market, with what you're buying. I picked this one up at a really good price, put an offer in on it, and my offer was accepted. So it's definitely the cheapest one that has sold on eBay in a while, especially with those 295s and the 9s. I'm going to put this guy down just so I quit waving him around. We'll set him right up there in the back if we can get him to stand, so you guys can enjoy that for the rest of the video. But just something to think about. Definitely wanting to get back into more of those old style cards, or new cards that are really iconic. I've talked a lot about the color blasts and why they're some of my favorite inserts. The downtown ones as well. I think those are going to continue into the future and will really hold value. Kind of like the old precious metal gems cards of the 90s. There's a lot of cards made in the 90s that are junk, but those PMGs are still highly collectible and very, very expensive, because it's just such an iconic set that so many people know about. So there's definitely some diamonds in the rough, and I definitely think there is cards in markets that maybe you aren't super familiar with that are worth buying. So I kind of like exploring the new markets. Like I said, the rookie patch auto was a whole new thing for me, but I've really enjoyed kind of learning about it. And it is tough with the new ones, especially. You have National Treasures, Flawless, Exquisite is there. I think Exquisite's done now, but there's like Illuminance. Select has rookie patch auto cards. Spectra has rookie patch auto cards. There is so many. Noir has rookie patch auto cards. Opulence. There is so many rookie patch autos. So it is definitely a tough market to learn, but there's a lot of information out there that talks you through some of it and which ones are the most valuable. But otherwise, it's just fun to kind of look at listings on eBay, see what's going for the most. And I do think some of those brands that are undervalued will do good. I've definitely been looking at Noir a lot lately. Another one that was recently mentioned on Slab Stocks by Slabstock Sam was the Court Kings cards. They're kind of unique. They have like a water brush feel to them, and there's some really nice limited cards in those sets, which I think could be worth looking into. So you definitely have to do some digging, but I think there is still cards that are buys even in this down market. I'm not sure if I'm going to hold that card for a couple games. We'll see what I think it gets up to before the season. If you can sell before the player ever steps on the field, it's always the best in my opinion, because people's expectations are probably always higher than how the player ends up performing, unless you have a season like Aaron Rodgers did last year, where he was the MVP and had an absolutely incredible season. Most of the time the player's expectations are going to be lower, or the player's actual performance is going to be lower than the expectations. Also, you have the chance of injuries, of something happening during the season, them not being able to play. So I like selling before they step on the field, but you have to make your margins too. With eBay charging their 13.5% about, that card definitely has to appreciate a pretty healthy chunk. Obviously, if you can move it as show or something and not pay those fees, it's a little better. But that's just kind of my thoughts. Do still think there is some buys in the market. I like going back to the older rookie cards. I like, along with what I talked about with the veterans and kind of proving their worth already, guys like Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers stuff's pretty expensive coming off the MVP, but that stuff, people that are not the GOATs like Tom Brady, but are solid veterans that people will always know. I do like that. And then the second part of that is you get to go back to the rookie cards. Rodgers is 2005, Wilson's 2012, Matt Ryan's 2008. Matthew Stafford is another guy I've been picking up a little bit. I believe that's 2009. You get to go back to those old cards when there isn't so many parallels. There's not so much muddying the water. It's a lot easier. For example, 2012 Russell Wilson Prisms. That was the first set of Prism. There's not very many variations. I think there is only like, there's two variations of the card. So there's towel up, towel down. But then you just have like the regular base card, and I think you have a silver version, and then you have maybe 2 or 3 numbered parallels, but there's not all of the parallels. I think that really helps the card value going forward, and I think if you believe that we are in a second version of the 90s overprinting, which I don't think we're in as bad of a situation then, because then everything was base cards. There was nothing really numbered. There was nothing super limited. And if it was super limited, those cards have done really well to the day. But the cards that really crash and have remained valueless were all of the base cards. So there is some of that today. And I do think some of those parallels that people are always buying aren't going to be worth very much in the future. But there is definitely a lot of brands and a lot of card inserts and sets in the brands that I think will always hold their value. So you just have to be careful and cognizant of that when you are looking at which cards to buy. I probably repeated myself on these points enough. Thanks for watching, guys. We will wrap up the video here. Let me know if there's any other veteran quarterbacks you're looking at picking up. I have been eyeing up some Stafford RPAs. They're a little bit more expensive than Matt Ryan, I will say, but I might look at picking one of those up. I think he is going to have a great year with the Rams. And it's always good to diversify, like we always talk about. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. It means a lot to me. Really helps out the channel. Give it a like if you enjoyed the video. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next one.